Welcome back to Conversation with Buddy. I'm your host, Buddy Puckett. Here we are, another week. Man, I love this. It's just so much fun. And I hope you're enjoying it as well. Hope you're enjoying the stories you're hearing. And by the way, if you are and you feel compelled, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this with your friends and family. We'd love to get these stories out to people in our community. And the goal really is a few goals to get to know our community a little bit better. Again, I say we often know people on the surface really well, that shallow, but we don't really know them deeply. So we'd love for you to be a part of this podcast, this community, to get to know people. And then we share Jesus is what we do. So today we have a special guest, and I love when I have people on here I've never met before. It's a great opportunity to meet somebody new, to have a great conversation. So without further ado, welcome Dana Lyons. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So we've been talking about this for a little while, and here we are.
Here we are.
Who connected us?
Jackie Ellerbrock.
Jackie Ellerbrock.
How do you not love her?
Yep, she's awesome. It was fun having her on the podcast as well. Mm-hmm. So, well, you have 3 podcasts.
I do.
You coach. You lead women's ministries, Bible studies. You're kind of all in.
All in.
You're all in.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Why go halfway in? Why would somebody do that?
Well, it's obedience. and when God does something in your life, I don't know. For me, it's where He's called me.
Yeah. So you feel called to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I asked you, how many millions are you making? And you said
absolutely none. I do most of what I do for nothing.
Right, but that's your calling. That's what God's called you to do. It might almost feel awkward to make money doing what God's called us to do.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, by the way.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with making money. We need to make money, but I see the heart behind what you do. So that's cool.
Yeah, you want to make a difference. Well, I think when you are brought through things and you're changed, you just start looking around. It's everywhere. And so, I just started doing
when you
God asked
say
me to.
brought through, what do you mean? I think I know what you mean, but I want to hear you just kind of expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say I'm all in, because back really when I would say I was a real new Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, I always believed, but 2003, God broke me. Really, I really I grew up always believing in Jesus and God, and don't remember a time I didn't believe. But then really made that decision in 1999. I was expecting my 3rd child. I really came to that decision to just receive Him. This is the way I believe. And I told nobody for a year because I wanted it to be mine.
Okay.
I didn't want anybody else's opinion and what are you doing? And so I didn't tell anybody. And my husband included, really.
So you accepted Jesus. Nobody knew. Okay.
Nope. I didn't want anybody to disagree with me. Like I want to make my own decision.
Yeah. No influence.
Yeah. And then 2003, our marriage fell apart. And we've had bumps along the way. So that wasn't the only time, but it really fell apart. But it was then that God really broke me and I surrendered. So I was saved. People will call saved in 99, but I was surrendered in 2003. At that point, I felt like, God called me out that I was on the fence Christian. Sometimes you want to follow me, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to, walk really tight with me, and sometimes you don't. And from now on, Dana, you follow me. And it was like, yeah, okay. So I do.
That's beautiful. We're going to dive into that really deep, but I want to take you back to the very beginning because I want to really get to know who Dana is. Where were you born? What were your parents like? Siblings? What was the early life like? So yeah, talk to us about that.
Well, in some ways, I guess the older I get and the more I talk about my childhood, there is, I feel like I lived a wonderful childhood in that I grew up at the Jersey Shore. So I'm from Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah. Grew up at Jersey, Bricktown, New Jersey, and my dad lived in Toms River. And so I grew up on the Jersey Shore and lived on the water. So as a lot of kids go to the playground to play, we played in the water and swam in the lagoons and did crazy things on the bay and hated when everybody came down from up north in New York and stuff because they overtook, our town. But it was a great childhood. And my mom sent me actually to Catholic school.
Yeah.
But
were your parents devout Catholic or something?
No. I mean, they were raised Catholic, but so what I like to call is my mom was more holiday Catholic. So we went Christmas and Easter.
Cheester.
That's it.
Yeah.
And, but I went to Catholic school and, but I went to public high school. But my mom didn't send me necessarily for faith. It was just a better school system, I think she felt. Because she didn't have enough money as a single mom to send my brother. So he went to public school, I went to Catholic school. And then, out of high school, I always wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
Came out of high school and married my high school sweetheart. 2 broken kids, had no business getting married, but always wanted to be a mom, got married right out of high school, and got divorced 6 years later.
What year did you graduate from high school?
89.
Okay.
So I'm 55.
Yeah, I'm doing the math. I
you could ask me.
I'm older than you.
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
Yeah.
You can't ask women how old they are. What years are graduating?
Yeah.
That's a roundabout way of doing it. But
no, I'm 55.
So you got married early on, right out of high school. How long were you guys married again?
5 years.
5 years. High school sweetheart. What happened?
We were both unhealthy.
Yeah.
2 broken kids, just did not know how to do relationship. We were a mess. Had 2 kids, got divorced.
Yeah.
It was just a very unhealthy relationship. And then from there, I was a single parent for a little bit. And then I decided while being a single parent, look, I'm done with dating, like that whole thing. Life is about my children. And if I'm going to date, period, this is going to be purely, it's got to be a man, not only good for me, but my children, because I pick all the jerks. I was just a broken woman. And so it was at that point, I wrote down a list. This is what I want in a man. It was all the character traits. He's honest and sweet and whatever. Good character. So I wrote that down, tucked it in my drawer and said, unless I find a man like that, I'm not dating. My kids need me. And they're really my motivation. And so they were 5 and almost 3 at the time. And tucked that away. And then all the older ladies who are now my age, so I'm not old, but at that time, they were older. And they would say, oh, you got to call Patrick. You got to call Patrick. He's wonderful. I'm telling you, he's charming. We know good men. And I'd be like, I'm done. I don't want to date. So anyway, long story short, he asked me to lunch. I was so shy. I said, sure. I went down to the lunchroom and forgot to sit at his table. I look up and he was like, and I, with my hands up, his hands up, and I just went, and I just kept eating with the people that I was eating with because I was so shy. And then he came up after that and he said, well, you stood me up for lunch. You have to let me take you to dinner. And I was like, sure. I mean, I'm so over dating, like nice guy. I'm not even attracted to him. This is easy. And so we went out. He called me that night. He was surprised I said yes. He called me actually to lock me in because he thought in 10 days she's going to have a boyfriend and be done. But we talked for an hour and a half that night. And I hung up that phone. I went, man, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So we went out, and 10 days later, now I'm the one going into the office to all the older ladies going, I'm a mess. Like, I got to wait 10 days for this guy to come home because he went on vacation with his college buddies.
Yeah.
Like, he's got everything.
He's the guy.
That we went out on our first date when my son turned 3, and I walked in that night. We didn't want it to end. I walked in that night. I said to my mom, I'm going to marry that man. And she was like, oh, are you kidding me? I said, yeah. And he drove home. His words, put a fork in me because I'm done.
Wow.
I better start thinking serious about this. She has 2 kids. I wasn't thinking about that. And so here we are now almost 30 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Take me back a little bit. You mentioned your mom was a single mom.
Yeah.
Where was your dad? What happened to dad?
So my dad lived in one town over.
They got divorced?
They got divorced when I was little. I have no memories of my parents together. None.
Okay. They got married, divorced when you were just a little baby, little kid.
Yeah. I if I'm remembering right, I think they were divorced by the time I was 5.
Okay.
So I've had a stepmom since right after that. My dad got married pretty quickly after that. But my mom's been, all I know is my mom being a single mom.
So she never remarried?
Never remarried. I do have a stepdad that I call my stepdad. They never got married, but they were together for like 7-8 years.
Okay. Gotcha. How about siblings? Any?
I have a brother and a half sister.
Older, younger?
I'm the oldest, and my brother is 3 years younger than me, and then my sister is 9 years younger than me.
Okay. Are you close?
I don't see my sister that often, and we didn't really grow up in the same house. It was like 2 totally different. So I love her, but I don't have the memories with her that I have with my brother because we were just in the same household, you know? So same dad.
Yeah, so these are half siblings, both of them.
No. My brother and I are from my mom and dad.
Okay.
Our biological. And then my sister.
Your sister's your half sister.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And where's your brother live?
Florida, Jupiter, Florida.
Okay, sister.
Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys are a little spread out.
I know. Do you know, it's the one thing, if I could, I never thought I'd live away, especially from my brother, because I grew up with him, you know. I didn't think we were going to live. So that's probably the hardest thing that weighs on me all the time is he's on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, and my mom is like, we're it for her.
Yeah.
And she loves her people.
Yeah.
So that's really hard for me, but
I forget, where does mom live?
with me.
Oh,
but my mom's a butterfly. My mom is like, we say now, you know, I really feel like I'm just your storage unit because your stuff is at my house. But she will, like right now, she works in Alaska for 7 months out of the year. Just because she can.
She likes it?
Loves it. But my mom is a lover of people.
Does she work at the cannery there?
My mom works up at the Yukon River Camp, and it's like a small little camp resort kind of thing. And people come in to like hunt and do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so she works there and she has got her community, but then she'll come home for a couple months.
Yeah.
Then she'll go and drive cross country and visit everybody she loves and knows.
She is a butterfly.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And she's got to be in her early to mid 70s.
75. And really 25 inside.
And 25. I want to be like your mom.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. How about your dad? Where's your dad?
My dad lives in Jersey, and my dad's polar opposite. My dad travels nowhere, but he just lives in Jersey, still at the Jersey Shore, still in the same town.
Same town. And do you get to see him very often?
No, I haven't seen him in 6 years. I talk to him like every third week. We'll call each other.
Any desire to go back there and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I go back, I would, I would love to visit him. But my dad's health is more challenged than my mom's, so he doesn't travel.
Okay.
So
if you're
I don't go back that often.
I was going to say, if you're going to see him, you have to go there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
But I am like my dad.
Okay.
Probably pretty similar.
Yeah,
I adore him. Yeah.
You still adore your dad. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Does it hurt when you can't see him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, what kid, if you start building if you get healing and you have peace about your life, I love him. I adore him.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be
daddy's
little
75
girl.
as well-ish?
78.
78. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk about the journey of, you went to Catholic school, mom and dad get divorced, that upbringing, like high school years, sports, music. What was important to you?
No, we did a lot of karaoke at home.
I love karaoke.
No, I grew up in the 70s, so we did our share of partying.
Yeah. Me too. I understand.
Yeah. We grew up at the shore. We did a lot of stuff in the water. I was athletic, but I didn't do a lot of sports. I did track 1 year in high school. Mm-hmm. Grew up playing hockey and ice skating. My brother played hockey for I want to say it was 7-8 years.
Yeah.
But we're athletic. We're not competitive athletes, though. Like in school sports.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So after high school, college.
No, I just want to be a mom.
Just want to be a mom. Got
dreamt
married?
of being a mom.
Yeah.
Got married, had a child right after high school.
I think most young ladies, I'm not trying to stereotype, I've got 2 daughters, but, I see a lot of young ladies go to, even my wife went to college, got the degree, but her passion was to be a stay-at-home mom. And so we were blessed enough to keep her home. And again, she could do whatever she wants. She could work or stay home. And we just chose she would stay home. So she's enjoyed that. But I think most young ladies would like to be moms. Maybe. You tell me.
Yeah, I think at some point when it clicks if they want that. I have 5 kids, 3 daughters, 2 sons, and my oldest is 35 and has 5 children.
Yeah.
And she went to college, and she was like, no, basically get out of my bubble. I'm going to do my own thing. Mm-hmm. Kind of was the kid where I thought she was going to be the business person because she was going college route, and like she's the oldest of 5.
Yeah.
I'm not having kids. And now she's stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Miss Frugal, baking bread,
Love it.
Old fashioned. And that was not my kid. I would have said,
no way.
I see it. And then my 2 sons are with longtime girlfriends who I believe they're going to marry.
Yeah.
And then my number 4 child, she's 25, Danny, is a coach over at Clackamas Community women's basketball. And she went to college, played there. She played college ball, and she just wants to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
It's her dream. But now I have a youngest who's graduating high school, and she's Miss Business. Like, I'm not having kids. Yeah, my husband better want to be a stay-at-home dad because I want to work.
I'm going to work.
So who knows?
That's okay too, right? I like that. Look, you have the choice to do what they want. So, okay. Does your youngest daughter, is she going to college anywhere?
U of O.
U of O.
Yeah.
You guys are Duck fans.
Well, I wasn't, but now I am.
Apparently you are.
I mean, not that I wasn't, but I
Yeah.
But when we went there to visit, it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Catch some football games and stuff.
Yeah, I hope to.
Okay. All right. Well, let's transition. So you and Patrick get married.
Yep.
You've been married for 30 years and it's always been perfect. You've never had any problems. What? All right, talk to us about marriage. Yeah, we know that's different. So 30 years, that's amazing. I want to congratulate you.
Yeah, just
30 years. And so I have a quick story, and then I'll let you segue in because you were saying the words, yes, dear, is part of your podcast. Is that right?
Yeah.
So my dad, he has 8 brothers and 5 sisters. I share a story all the time, so our poor audience, But yeah, my dad has 8 brothers and 5 sisters. My dad's the middle child of 14. He's the upper middle because there's 7 and 7. But last summer, my dad lives in Prineville. We drive to Eugene to go see his oldest brother, Neil. Neil's 94.
Wow.
Neil's been married to Mickey she's 94. I think they've been married 74 years.
Wow.
It's either 70 or 74. I don't know. But long story short, we were there this last summer, and one of my favorite questions to ask people that have been married for a long time, especially longer than me, is Neil Mickey, what's the secret to a long marriage? 2 words. Yes, dear. So
that's right.
And then this last week I was meeting with clients. They've been married for 50 years. Remember, I do mortgages for a living, but really what I want to know is I want to hear their story. Christian people. And I said, hey, to the clients, hey, what's the secret to a long marriage? And so he was basically he traveled a lot for work. So his 2 words were keep traveling.
My uncle would agree.
Yeah. So, hey, whatever works, but 2 words. So let's segue into kind of your life, what you do, what God's called you into. I know you have 3 podcasts. You've lived an interesting life. You know, when I say interesting, we all have, life happens to us sometimes.
Absolutely.
The question is, what do you want to do with that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're either going into something, we're in something, or we're coming out of something.
Yep.
All of us. Doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter where you grew up. So talk to us about some stories. I want to hear all of it.
Where do you want me to start? That's a big question.
Well,
there's a lot of stories.
Let's just start. We'll start with the podcast. I know you and your husband do 3 podcasts. Talk to us about those. Some of your journeys that you've gone through that you want to share. Dive in deep.
Yeah. Okay. So we do the Yes Dear podcast. It looks pretty new. I think we only have, I don't know, maybe 15 episodes out right now.
Yeah.
We've got a lot recorded, but we just haven't published them yet.
And you do that with your husband?
I do that with my husband. And really, our heart is always really just to give hope. Mm-hmm. Hope and healing for every heart and every home. That really is what I breathe for. Because I think there's always hope. Which is funny, because when my marriage fell apart, I almost walked away because I thought, we've tried everything and I had no hope. But there's something that rises in me for other people. It's like, I know I'm a living proof. There's hope. Nothing is impossible. Nothing.
We know that.
It is with me.
Yeah.
But not with God.
With God, all things are possible. I've heard that before. Weird.
All things are possible for the one who believes, but nothing is impossible with him. Like,
yeah.
Those are extreme words.
Yeah.
Always and nothing. And if you look that up, it really does mean always. So it's not, nothing but my marriage, nothing but my health, nothing but my kids, nothing. It's not that. It's nothing. Nothing means nothing. So, when my marriage was restored, God called us into marriage ministry. We left Jersey and he immediately moved us to Texas. We actually, when we decided our marriage was going to make it.
Yeah.
And it was really, he was in. I was still like, I don't know. God changed. All right, so let me tell you this. 2003, God broke me. What I mean by that is I had a moment in my bedroom and I could see it every time I said it's like it was yesterday. I was coming out of my bathroom and the Lord stopped me in my tracks because we both went to go visit attorneys. It was like I was convinced maybe I just don't know how to do this marriage thing. But I've always had a childhood dream to have a healing center for kids of divorce because I was one. But back then I was the only one. I had no friends who came from broken homes like that. We say broken home, single parent home. Now I'm going to do it twice. I swear I would never do this to my children. Here I not only did it once, didn't want that. I carried shame because of that. And then 2, I'm about to do it again because I can't figure this thing out. And I would do okay for a while, but I had such daddy issues. I had identity issues. I mean, I was broken. And so God stopped me in my track one day and just said, Dana, do you want to get well? Like it's clear as day. Clear as day. When I tell you I didn't know the Bible, I didn't know anything. I was just like, have you not heard my prayers? Have you not heard anything? I've been praying for years. Do you see what he's doing? I know what he's doing. Do you see that? And I had, much like everybody else, I have plenty of people to point at of why I hurt. God wasn't asking me that. And I just said, have you not heard any of my prayers? Really what I was doing was whining. And he just said, I've heard all your prayers, Dana. I've caught every tear. But do you want it? And I was like, that's the serious. I knew at that point this is a serious question, and it's in my balls in my court to answer. And he goes, do you want it? Because you are your biggest problem. You're not a problem or the problem, but you are your biggest problem. And he said, go ahead and get divorced, but your children need you. And, God knows our motivations. Your children need you. Now what? Go ahead and get divorced. Now what? I was like, I said, all right. I didn't have a fight for me. I certainly didn't have a fight for my husband. That felt too big and impossible. But man, those babies are everything to me. And I went, I felt like I was pinned up against the wall with God. Like, how do you say no to God, right? Yeah, we do it all the time. And so I went, all right. So my husband comes up the stairs. He worked at home at the time, and he came upstairs. And I said, and I was so mad. It was like, why do I have to do all this work? He's got work to do. And I said, look, God asked me if I wanted to get well. I don't know where this is going. We still might get divorced, but my kids need me. And Patrick was like, okay, like if you get well for them, like it's all good. But his thing at the time was, look, until you take care of like this intimacy issue you have, we're not going to get any closer. And I'm like, we're not getting any closer. Intimacy issues? I don't want to be intimate with you because I know what you're doing. And I had all the, and God was just saying, do the mirror work.
Do the mirror work.
That's really what do you want to get well really means is, are you willing to look in the mirror and say, every single day, I take full responsibility for you. Full responsibility. That really is ultimately what we're doing. 100% for all the baggage, for all the issues, for all the pain, for all the poisonous words I speak out, for all the envy, strife, bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness. I mean, because we want to point the finger, and we could all point the finger.
Well, it's easier to point the finger. It's not my fault. I don't have to take responsibility. And I've noticed that if I ever point the finger, I first have to become a victim. I'm the victim that allows me to blame somebody else because, well, it's not my fault. And I like what you said. And I like to say it too. I say it this way. It's maybe not your fault, but it is your responsibility, right? Life happens, but it's how you respond to it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think when we say, oh, well, look what he's doing, and we want to point fingers, we're really just trying to protect all the hurt and the pain. That's really what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's fear that keeps it in. It's fear that keeps me from not wanting to be known.
Yeah.
I was terrified because ultimately, really, I was afraid if my husband ever really saw all my baggage, because we say this all the time, neither one of us ever really came to the table and went, okay, here's all of me when we first got married.
Yeah.
We thought we did. We did the whole church marriage count. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, they could cross. Yep, we did that with them. We're like, the things we didn't want to talk about, we didn't talk about.
Right.
And really what we both felt was like, God was saying, look, I got work for you to do and you're in no shape. So I'm going to pull the rug out. Everything collapsed. And at that point, I felt like I had a second chance at life. So surrendered, I was like, I'll go where you tell me to go. I'll say what you want me to say. I'll do what you want me to do. And so we went into facilitator training in a marriage program that we started leading.
Yeah.
We're the crisis couple. I'm unpacking my bags. And in that meeting where there's people now my age, back then I think I was 30, 33, something like that. And there are people in their 50s going to be facilitator training, like they're up in their certificate or whatever. And I'm unpacking bags for the first time, thinking if I'm going to live, okay, I'm going to really do this thing. Mm. And it was so freeing because I sat with 12 couples and I dumped. Mm. And I watched tears flow down. Instead of feeling the shame, what kept it all inside, I saw tears just flowing. Mm. And at that point, I noticed when you share your story and you are courageous in doing that, that inspires courage in somebody else to go, okay, here's me. And they just start revealing. And then from there, long story short, we moved to Texas. We started the marriage ministry. I then started a women's ministry out of that because I saw the need. Mm-hmm. And really my heart's for the children. Yeah. Like the best way I could help the next generation is help mom and dad because these generations are a mess. Yeah. Because divorce is so, and you can't say every divorce. I went through it, so I'm not judging.
Can't, yeah.
But my heart is to see kids sleep at night because they're acting out. I was that kid. I was acting out in high school. I was doing all these stupid stuff. Some are like, their life is in jeopardy. So I don't want to downplay it at all. Yeah. But too often I feel like the question we don't ask is, what's going on with mom and dad? Yeah. What's going on in the home? And no, I don't want to ask the kid. I really want to get to the parents because my heart is for the child. Amen. That's what I just breathe for.
Yeah. I feel the same way. People go, what's wrong with these kids these days? Well, I say, let's go talk to mom and dad because mom and dad are leading in the home and it shows up in the kids. I always say, it took me a long time to figure this out, by the way. I couldn't blame my wife anymore because that wasn't working. I couldn't blame my kids because, that's not working. I got to take responsibility. And if I don't like what my wife's doing or my kids are doing, I got to go look in the mirror. Yeah. I'm the leader and they're actually just following in my footsteps. Yeah. Truly, I'm like, that's how this all works, And so once I finally took responsibility for that, I'm not saying my life got perfect, but it got a whole lot better. It's I don't need to blame my wife. It's all on me. Mm-hmm. I have to, and I don't mean perform, but I have to surrender. Your word is God doesn't need my performance. He needs me to surrender to him. And, one of my favorite verses says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Was I doing that? No. It was all about me. What's in it for me? But when you finally realize Jesus came to serve and not be served, and we're supposed to act like Jesus, well then change that. Be a better leader by serving, by loving, surrendering.
It's actually by dying.
Dying. Yeah. Dying to self. Yeah.
You won't find that on social media.
I know. Yeah, that's not very fun to die to self because, what about me? Mm-hmm. Go find yourself. If you find yourself, it's going to be really miserable. I already know that. The midlife crisis, go find yourself, get a new car. No, don't do that. That's the horriblest thing you could ever do.
I just think that's the soul searching, though.
True. But they're searching in the wrong...
Well, sure.
What was it, Kenny Rogers looking for love in all the wrong places?
But I think oftentimes our journey, you have to go through those are the shallow things. Yeah. And too many people stop at the shallow. And I spend so much time, press it, just keep going. You're 2 inches from, my favorite word is broken.
Broken.
It's such a gift. It's a gift. Because if you can press into your own brokenness, which most don't. I've led women's groups since the Lord broke me in 2005, I started my first one. And most people will stop short of it. And I'm telling you, what is on the other side is freedom, peace, wholeness, contentment, all of that. And yet we just go, oh, it's too scary.
Well, and the facts aren't we broken anyway, whether we want to admit it or not?
It's the biggest thing we run from.
Yeah, I'm broken, but I've not. Once I finally go, I'm broken. Thank God for Jesus, and there's freedom in that. I don't have to perform anymore. I'm broken. I've died to self, and I'm alive in Christ. So, I agree.
But I think so much of church, what they would recall, Christianese, as a lot of people call it.
Yeah.
People hear that and you're like, oh yeah, heard that a million times. You know, that's what they say.
Yeah.
So it's really where it came to change for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I read, you know, after God broke me, I stared at the Bible on my counter.
Mm-hmm.
Try to read it. I'm like, I don't know what most of these words mean. What do the Old Testament stories? I'm like, seriously, you're going to read some of these Old Testament stories that seem so like, what's that have to do with my life?
Yeah.
I said that to God. Like, I stared at my Bible. I'm like, all right, now I got to live for you. I have to follow you. I don't even know how to read this Bible. Mm-hmm. What do the Israelites have to do with my life anyway? Mm-hmm. And changing my marriage. Honestly, I was like, I got to figure this out. And I said to him, it's a big book.
Yeah.
I don't have years. I got to get my life right today because my babies need me. God interrupt me again. He's so sweet to not. He never argues back. And he goes, Dana, can you do two things?
I like, it's a question though.
Question. Two things. Can you do two things? And I was like, I'm thinking, I got a warehouse of baggage. You want me to do two things?
I've got like 100, man.
I could do two things. And he goes, and I said, yeah, I could do two things. And he said, if you do these two things, everything else in your life will fall into place. Can you do this? And I was like, okay. And he said, love me with all you've got and love other people. Can you do that? And I was like, oh my gosh, is that it? He's like, yeah, just do that. And so when I tell you, buddy, I went through my house, dinner time. I was like, oh, what am I making for dinner? Like, I'm going to love, it was, how do you apply this to everyday life?
Yeah.
And it all boils down to just love. Now, what does love really mean?
Yeah.
It sounds really easy. It will cost everything. It'll take you out of your comfort zone. It will challenge you. But if you can just focus, so when life gets real chaotic for me, all right, just two things, Dana, just two things. Come on.
Two things.
Don't get out of love. Like we get pulled, got to look good. You got to.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, just love, literally. So for some of that, you want to hear how that plays out in my marriage? It was some of it, I just had to look at my husband in the eye and go, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
We make stuff so hard. Just, I'm sorry. I didn't show up well there. Yeah. Or I'm sorry for the words I just spoke to you. It was really disrespectful. Mm-hmm. Or actually, some of it was what you just said really hurt me because I could be a stuffer, you know, and just hold it all in. And yeah.
I think, God's always there, but oftentimes we don't see him until we're in the deepest pain when there are no more options. Mm-hmm. And then God shows up like, Dana, do you want to be made well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you might actually listen. You know, I've been there a time or two. Mm-hmm. I'm like, God's had to pull the red carpet out from underneath me. And in his grace and his mercy and his kindness, he had to pull the rug out to wake me up.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was painful. But you know what? I'm grateful. I don't want to go through it again, but I'm grateful he took me through that. And I can share, 15, 20 years later, how I was broken. So I understand completely. Mm-hmm. So podcasts. Why did you guys start podcasts? Do you do some by yourself, some with your husband?
I do. So the marriage ministry, so we do marriage coaching. We've done it now.
Your husband.
Yeah, we do marriage coaching. And out of that and out of ministry, working with couples so many years, there's just, again, our heart is always to give hope because we think it's going to be harder than it is. We think it's going to take long rebuilding a marriage. And I want people to be able to say, you know what? And we've heard this over the years. Look, we're better than we've ever been. Awesome. And so we just want to get on and share nuggets. We want to make it like this is real life marriage. If you look to your right or left and you look at people in church, you think they have it all together? Look again. Just look another day. Look another hour. Because they don't. Facebook, they may show it. Yeah. They don't. We're trying to figure this thing out real time. And it's just, so we just want to share that. And it's that one's a passion project for us. And we thought, you know what, if nothing else, we're going to leave it for our children and someday they'll get to laugh at us.
What's the name of that podcast there? That's the Yes Dear?
The Yes Dear podcast.
What's maybe the number one or top problem you've noticed in every marriage that you kind of have a theme or something going on there? What would you say that would be with marriages?
I would say this has to be top one or two, and that is expectations. Expectations, a big one, because if you think about it, what are expectations? We all have. A husband comes to a marriage and has in his mind what a wife should be like. what his wife's going to want or love or need from him, how he's supposed to show up, how she was going to show up in this event, what she's going to be like in the bedroom, all that. What's going to be important to her. I mean, like, he has this all worked out, and we don't know it until we're in an issue, in a conversation or in an experience, right? A wife, she's been dreaming about her wedding day. I mean, women, we do that. We have like everything. And then we come into these moments, raising children, husband goes off to work, or maybe they both work, or whatever the situation is. And every argument, every step further apart, every time we disconnect a little bit, most times, what I have found with the marriages we work with is, and my own, is expectations. I thought you were going to show up and say this. I thought you were going to act like that. I thought you were going to love me like this. I thought you would want that. Well, did I ever say that? No. And what I had to own is not, for some, I had to own you got to own the disappointment, to be like, I'm disappointed. And oftentimes it's not disappointment in the spouse. It's feeling the disappointment because it didn't match the expectation. And my husband couldn't have known what my expectation was, because I didn't either until this moment, because I found myself disappointed. And then I have to go, oh, wait a minute, I had an expectation. You couldn't ever even match that, because I never said it, because I didn't realize that that's what it was. And working through some of those. And so when we do that, it's like, okay, so what I find myself saying to my husband now is, what do you need from me today? That's another way of, I mean, I would never, not that I don't say, what's your expectation, but we don't often say, what's your expectation of me?
I like how you say, what is your need for me? You're asking what's your expectation, but
yes,
you've rephrased it in a better way. That, the word expectation, I preach expectation. I'm a guy who had expectations early on, and what I realized, it only leads to disappointment. My wife can never fulfill my expectation. It can't be done. And a few years ago, I decided I'm going to remove all expectation. I'm just going to be the guy that she needs every day. And by the way, I'm not perfect, but I know what she needs. And you know what? She meets my expectations and needs without even me having them, if that makes sense. As I become a better leader, hopefully, Lord willing, she'll follow better. And it's interesting. My analogy is this here. This is for the guys out there, but you think of a cube of butter in the refrigerator. If I'm not leading well, my wife is like the cube of butter. It's not her fault. If I'm leading well, she's like the butter that's been sitting on the counter for the last hour and a half, 2 hours. It's really soft, and you know what I mean? And so
that's good.
Me and my buddies, we talked about the word expectation years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I have one guy, he gets angry on the golf course. And we talked about this thing, expectation. What was your expectation? Well, I wasn't expecting to land in the water or the sand trap. And so we could joke about that. But when someone gets mad on the golf course, it's because they had an expectation that they wouldn't land in the sand or the water. They thought magically it would just land in the hole. And so expectation can only lead to disappointment, frustration, that leads to anger. And I've seen this guy throw his club a few times or say a few curse words. And golf can really reveal those expectations. I think, and in marriage, if your marriage isn't going well, guys, I'm not talking about the women, only the guys, don't have expectations. Show up, be the man, love, to your point, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, love your neighbor as yourself, this thing called agape love. And when you do that, my experience is my wife is the butter that's been on the counter, and she's soft. She's not hardened. And well, and so this is funny. I love having the marriage conversation with guys. That's what my mission is.
Yeah.
But you get to share with the women out there. But with guys, like, hey, what do you think marriage is? Well, I think it's 50-50. Oh, okay. So you think you come 50 and she comes 50? Yeah. Yes. And so I go, well, let me read a Bible verse. And it says, husbands, and we can all quote these verses, but we don't really know what they mean.
Totally.
I can quote lots of verses, but that doesn't mean I'm actually applying them. But husbands, okay. It doesn't say husbands and wives. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Jesus came the full distance. I didn't do anything. He did all. So then what part does my wife have to do with this here? She don't have any part in that. I got to do all. That's what I'm called to do. Yes. Is it hard? Yeah. If I haven't died to self, it's impossible because I'm not going to be happy. Mm-hmm. But if I actually got my focus right, I love God, I love my neighbor, I love my wife, then I can lead appropriately and she follows appropriately. So I don't know, what's your thoughts on that? That's one of my favorite words, expectation. So you nailed it. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, God revealed that to me when I went to Israel. It was, and it just explodes like everything falls under these expectations. And some of the hardest to come to is expectations that I have on myself, right? It's like, what's a Christian? What's a wife? What's a sister? What's a brother? What's a mom? What's a leader? Just put it there. What's beautiful? What's all of that we face. Mm-hmm. Some of the hardest to come is not just with our spouse, but it's the expectation that I have on myself. And for me, I'm really hard on myself. So as I get older, the more I've determined to become my own best friend, because to my best friend, I could be kind, I could be compassionate, I could give grace and be gentle. With me, I could be more critical and hard, right? So when I unpack that, what's the difference between the two is unpacking my own expectations on myself, how I'd show up in this situation, how I would do that. Instead of just going, just show up. Just show up and be present. Love God with all you've got and love other people. And that's an action. That's like, I don't want to, for some, I know a lot of Christians just shut down. You're like, here we go with the verses again. We're known as a group of people, and I'm sorry to say, like, I feel like I apologize more for this than anything. Yeah. I'm sorry. We have not represented well, and we're not walking out what actually we believe in. The Bible actually tells you to, like, keep your opinions to yourself. Like,
shut up.
But we've become a society and a people group, if you want to put us that way as Christians, of just spitting out opinions.
Yeah.
What if we actually just went, I'm not going to share my opinion. I'm actually just going to walk it out.
Well, how many ears do I have?
Yeah.
I've got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
The verse I've had to quote 1 billion times to myself, be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger, for the anger of a man does not achieve the righteousness of God. I don't need to argue about anything. I need to listen, being kind, and you again, I'm going to pick up on when you said, if we've died, we've been bought by the blood of Jesus, you're not your own, you're his. You got to be kind to yourself because, he's kind to you. Mm-hmm. You don't have the right to be unkind to you because, you're his. You're not you, you're his. And so once you really unpack the scriptures, like, what, if you want to be unkind to you, are you living in the flesh? How's that working? Because I thought you died to self, and we're loving God with all of our heart, mind, and soul. So I think we have a focus issue. Do you agree? Where, God gives these orders and we try to go live them out in our flesh. But God says, seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, all these things will be added unto you. I think we think, I've got to be a good guy. I've got to go operate in this flesh and just go be this great person. I'm just not. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think there's this gift of the struggles and the challenges that we're hit with in life. We all get them, right? Whether it's health, marriage, relationship, work, it all presents itself. And I think that's when you find out what's deep inside of you. And I think life is a classroom. And it presents you with, you say you believe this. Mm-hmm. Now here's an opportunity.
Testing.
And then you get to walk that out. I mean, look at Abraham, right? Like God called him, he's like, look at the stars. You're going to have as many children as you.
Yeah.
So he says that. And now you're going to wait 25 years until you're almost 100 to have this. I'd be pretty frustrated that, really? Mm-hmm. And yet he's presented with all these different challenges to continually to walk that out. Mm. And it's the same, I think that we're only doing what we're taught. And I think oftentimes, especially a lot of people have tuned church out, sermons out, Christians out. And we just look to somebody on social media, or we look to the left or right, and we'd be like, she's a Christian. If she does that, I guess it's okay. And then we just live in this peripheral vision of what's okay when God goes, you follow me. And so how do you just take real life that you're in and apply what he says? And when I did that, it's actually so simple. It's not that hard, but we make it hard. And it's hard because we still think that God wants our performance. And when you finally get over your performance, life actually gets really easy because you're like, my performance doesn't matter. I just got to be in it and actually just do what he says in the moment. And for now, it could be that I just listen. For now, because I just speak what I hear him telling me to tell you. For me, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. It's whatever, serving, dying to self.
Right.
So I think we still have a wrong mentality of what we think of what it really means.
Yeah. I think Christians struggle with, well, now that I'm a Christian, why are bad things happening? It's not my fault. Now I'm angry and upset. I saw somebody at church sin and they're hypocrites. Yeah. Well, so am I, And so I think we have an expectation that once we become a Christian, everything should be hunky-dory.
I did.
Yeah, right? How'd that work out?
Well, it didn't. It didn't. And I was mad because I'd show up in church thinking, oh, now I'm the good girl. Now I'm the good girl. Like, I'm a Christian. And I'm going to look like all the other happy wives who have kids who just love coming to church and they have this deep faith. And they have husbands right next to them who just love Jesus, whatever that meant at the time to me. And I'm like, and my husband's not here. My kids don't want to be here, and my life's a mess, and I don't think this is working. And then it was later that God asked me, do you want to get well? And then I learned, oh, that's probably not so true anyway. Don't look too much at the outside. There's a whole story to everybody else you're going to look at.
Yep. And for being really honest, I can perform well. I look well. I clean up well. But if I'm really transparent, I've got problems just like everyone else does. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you, I got problems too. Welcome to the club. This is good. I think problems are a sign of life. It's opportunity. All right, Lord, here we are. I love, Lord. This is great. I'm going to learn my faith is going to grow right now. And I'm thankful for that. This is great. This is an interesting place. I've never been here before. I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix it. And I'm going to trust in you. I like Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It's a verse I could quote very well, but sometimes applying it and actually, you're having a problem? Trust in the Lord with all your heart, Dana. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him. Dana, but then I have a problem like, that doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
But the facts are, it does. And now I get to have the opportunity to, all right, Lord, trust in you with all my heart. Lean not on my own understanding. See, I'm a guy. Every guy out there, we're fixers, man. You have a problem, we can fix it in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
What God's revealed to me in the last year or so is I'm impatient. My real character is I'm very impatient. Let me just fix it real quick and, be on our way. But when you really love somebody, because you said love God, love people, we don't come to fix. We come to be with. Be still, know that God is, come alongside somebody instead of just quoting Bible verses and throwing them, just believe, renew the mind, trust in the Lord. Cool. Yeah, it's all true. But how do we come alongside people and just have compassion?
Yeah. Well, and I think people think becoming a Christian is you automatically become what we would label good, which is, it's like I don't know where we picked it up. I did believe that, but I think that people think it's just coming to church. And they need to know, like, I still struggle going to church sometimes, right? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? And yet I think for the Christian, to ultimately be, if we want to put it in the world's words, is I think that to be a Christian, if you want to say I've lived a successful life, it is really a successful life as a Christian to me is how intimate really are you with the Lord? He'll take you as deep as you'll let him take you, but he will also wait and stay in shallow waters with you if that's what you insist on.
Do you remember in Isaiah chapter 6, you have Isaiah, he's in the throne room, angels are flying around singing, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. And then the angel, you have Isaiah going, I'm a man of unclean lips. The angel of the Lord comes over, sears his lips. And then God asks the question, who will go for me? And these are the words, man, that I want to live by. Again, here I am, Lord, send me. That's the guy who's went all in. I want to be that guy.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm that guy yet, Lord, but I want to be that guy. that I'm just all in. If you say go, I go. If you say come, I come. And I want to be fully surrendered to the Lord in that way, in the way Isaiah was. It's one of my favorite passages. All Scripture is great, but there's a few areas that, man, for me, that's a good one.
But don't you find out we're in our 50s that so often it's not go and or stay, it's wait.
Oh, you wait, hold on, no, I got to do something, man, right?
I say that because you said
be still now.
You're impatient. And what I found was, not only does he say, most of the Christian life is waiting, but it's not just waiting. It's, if you look that up, most of it is connected to the word patiently. Wait patiently. We're in a microwave society. Like, we don't do that well. It's like,
Chop. We got to do it.
DoorDash it, Lord.
DoorDash it, Lord.
And yeah.
That's an interesting, I haven't heard that one. But yeah, you're right. Microwave, DoorDash, we want it now.
We do.
Yeah, but the Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am Lord. Patiently waiting on the Lord. I know the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience. I know it's one fruit, but man, the impatience of my life shows up probably more than all of it.
Yeah.
And so, have you ever read the book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer?
No, but my daughter did.
It's my number 2 book.
Really?
Yeah, behind the Bible, of course. Number 2. He talks about Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. And it's all based on that. I love listening to John Mark Comer. It's an Audible book.
Yeah.
I've read it and I've also listened to it. Just amazing. But we're all in a hurry. But here's what you can't do when you're in a hurry. You can't love.
Yeah.
It's when typically I show up my worst self when I'm in a hurry. Bye, honey. I got to go. I don't have time to actually give you an official kiss goodbye or something. I'm in a hurry. I can't love. One time we were driving from our house from South Salem downtown. There was a car coming our way, and there was a car passing him on a double striped where you shouldn't be passing. And he was giving the other driver the middle finger because they were impatiently didn't want to wait. And they turned into their lane just in time. And that doesn't make me nervous because that type of stuff doesn't bother me. My wife's like, oh, my. I go, it's okay. We'll just pull over what we need to. We didn't need to. He pulled in, but I go, there's proof you cannot love when you're in a hurry. That was
Were they from Jersey?
I did see a Jersey plate. No,
No,
I
I'm just kidding.
No, but we can't love in a hurry.
Yeah. I think it's the posture of our heart. Because I don't think we could love in a hurry because I think so often it's like, I want what I want now. However, I was in a season when we lived in Texas, I was so busy. I was laughing at how busy I was. Like, Lord, this is really funny. And yet so peaceful, so focused, clear. I was just love them in the busy, love them. Well, I was driving 900 miles in 3 weeks, taking my kids to school. Each kid in a different season of different schools. And I was busy, probably some of the busiest. And, now that I'm in my 50s, I'm in a different busy. And I often look back going, how the heck did I do that at that age where that was busy? And yet I just think, when you're in certain seasons that the Lord has you, it's super peaceful, whether it's busy or still. But still is harder.
Still is harder, 100%. In fact, I would say, to your point, most people won't be still or be alone because they're actually maybe fearful of their own thoughts. Like, let's just keep busy. Let's keep doing something. Go, go, go. So I don't have to be alone and answer those questions that have been gnawing at me. But that's where the Lord finds us.
Yeah. Well, I think people are afraid to face the person in the mirror. Don't you?
I think you're right.
And so it's distraction.
Have you noticed when we're in our 50s, but I'm still trying to figure me out. Like, I don't need to really figure, I've been trying to figure my wife out, but God revealed to me one time, I was like, Lord, why, this is a decade or so ago, you have those moments like, why can't I figure her out? And God, it wasn't an audible, but it kind of was. He spoke to me very clearly, buddy, if you figure out your wife, then you never need me. I'm like, that's interesting. that was part of me letting go and removing expectation. But it's interesting. God's revealing to me how he wired me. Like, I think I kind of know who I am, but I need to spend more time with the Lord so he can actually understand how he wired me. Like, we're made in his image. I'm not perfect, but he made me perfect. He made me. And I'm wired for a certain gift, and you are as well. And Lord, am I using that gift the way you want me to? I don't know. I'm learning, still growing.
But don't you find in different seasons, like now that we're in our 50s, what we want now in our 50s is totally different than what we were in our 20s and 30s. Yeah. And some things, no, but other things, like now we're closer to 70 than we were when we were in our 30s. Yeah. Health, longevity. Yeah. I didn't think about that in my 20s, really. 30s. Yeah. We think we're going to live forever. Yeah. We could conquer the world. And now, life humbles you. And so I find with marriage, will I grow and will I give my husband permission to grow, to continue to change into the person God created us to be without being the one who's going to hinder him because I just know him this way and I want him to be this way. And I think, in all the work that I've done, my heart is for marriage, yet I spent most of my career working, mentoring women's ministry and helping women get more confident in who they are, in knowing God. To me, that's the ultimate quest and adventure, is knowing him and being known, right? It's that, to me, is what life is all about. And then the next person we get to do that with is our spouse. Yeah. And when I watch women, because this happened in my life, when I watch women finally get to a place where they just go, oh, I don't have to tell him how to be the man. If I just release him to be the man, knowing
that's right,
he's not going to do it the way I wanted to do it, I might actually do it better.
Yeah. And,
it's like,
and can a woman, I think a woman does make the man, but a woman can't change him. I think that's God's job. Just like I can't change my wife, I've got to pray for her, and I can help her. I can be her man and help her fulfill what her God given. But if I try to make my wife me, that's pretty miserable, by the way. We don't need two buddies in the same home. That doesn't work very well. But that doesn't work. So stop trying.
Yeah. Well, in marriage, so when I was in Texas, I had this privilege of sitting with so the women's group when I first started was really for women who were married to men with addictions of some kind. Yeah. And then I came to realize when I looked to my right or left, we just all have issues. So I opened it up to any woman who wants to grow in her confidence in who God calls her to be. But I had the privilege of sitting at the time when it was still all about codependency and addictions and all of that. And I bring this up because you said, a woman can't really, we can't tell men how to be men. And I think some really cool moms can help empower their sons and to become men. But in this training that I was under, is the counselor said, I find it amazing that women, and science and everything backs this up in the studies that he was talking about, but he said, it's amazing. Women just nurture each other. And girls become women. Because women, we will naturally, older ones will just reach down to the younger, go, come on, I got you. We just we nurture one another. Yeah. Men don't do that so much. And a man, he said, this is true. And especially he was talking about the men who were addicts at the time and the women who were married to them. He said, but you need to know, men, they don't operate that way. A boy will not become a man unless he's ushered into manhood by another man. Not by a woman. Right. Codependent women will try, I'll fix him. I'll love him. Yeah. I'll do it. Like, we just need each other. It's like, I want to go time out, man. Let me just save you some trouble. It doesn't work. I've led men. It doesn't work. Yeah. And men, they don't want to be mothered. They don't want to be told by their wife. It's the nagging wife. They don't want that. Yeah. They desperately need other men to come alongside them to just usher them in. What's it like to be a man?
I like it.
Without feeling insecure, I'm not quite the man. And it's a lifelong journey. Right. It's not like, hey, when you're 18, you should be a man.
Well, there's a verse in the scripture that says, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another man. I suppose it's one woman sharpens another woman. But I believe, without, I learned when I became a believer at 28 that I need to show up. I need to show up for me, for another man, and another man for me. This iron sharpens iron, it's a two-way street. I got to keep showing up to learn how to be a man and to continue being a man that God's called me to be and that my wife needs.
Yeah.
And by the way, isolation doesn't work for guys. And we talk about that all the time. I see guys isolating. Hey, how's that working for you? What's your greatest challenge? I'm like, I'm inviting you into, let's have a really candid conversation. I'll go first even. I'm a dude.
Oh, it's key.
I'm a dude. I'll tell you all my past sins if you need to hear them, to open the door and realize I can be vulnerable. I don't got it all together, right? That's the nature. It hasn't left. I wish, Lord, just take it away. Nope.
Yep.
So, hey, we're going to wrap up here in a little bit, but I want to wrap up. You have a story. You had a journey of cancer. Is that true? And you sent me a little picture. Talk about that real quick. What is that?
The book that I wrote, you mean?
Oh, is that a book?
Yeah.
Tell me.
So I just published it on April 23rd, which was my 2-year anniversary. So 2023 going into 2024, the Lord was really asking me to simplify my life. I was stepping down from working with a publishing agency that I worked with, and I just sensed him asking me to make more room for him. I was hearing these two phrases.
Yeah.
There's no room for me here. And will you make some room for me? Will you make more room for me?
Just a question. Here we go again.
Right. And it was like, oh, yeah. So I was simplifying my life. I thought I was going to press in. I know I'm called to write. So it's like, I'm going to be doing more of that. Little did I know he was preparing me for come January. I'm now, in perimenopause. Women who's listening, they'll know what that means. It's the chaos before what is called menopause. And I was in it. Yeah. And I was going to my doctor. I was like, all right, my generation always heard hormone replacement therapy gives you cancer. Don't do it. It's evil. And so it was never a question. Yeah. And yet I made an appointment with my OB to say, okay, I'm ready to learn about it, talk about it. Is this right for me? Women don't have to suffer. Okay, I bought it. Now teach me. She said, I think you're the perfect candidate. You're getting really close to menopause, but you know the drill. Now I've had 12 abnormal pap smears. Before that, this was common for me. She's like, you know the drill. We're going to do it. It's probably going to come back abnormal. We're going to do your biopsy. It's probably going to be fine, but I cannot prescribe and will not prescribe hormone replacement therapy unless I know you're cancer-free. All right. I'm thinking no big deal. That was on my daughter's birthday, January 30th, 2024. I also became a bar instructor. I spent time in the gym back in my 20s as a trainer and stuff. And here I am in a gym, loving what I'm doing. I'm learning this new class. I'm enjoying life. I felt fantastic. I get the abnormal in my patient portal. Yep, knew that was coming. Good thing, I've had some traumatic biopsies. So they let me, because I've had so many, they let me get ultrasound. All right, cool. That's already set up for April. This was the end of January. All good until I got the call. And then I got the call that I wasn't expecting. And it was, hey, Dana, this is the doctor. And she said these words. She said, so we did find something and I'm not really concerned. And she said it so quickly, buddy. It was just like, I'm not concerned. We'll take care of it quickly. I'm going to have the scheduler call you. I want you to see the oncologist, gynecologist, oncologist. And I was like, okay. Next day, the scheduler calls, sweet woman, and she says the same thing. But she says these words, and it was the same word that I didn't know that the doctor said. And they say it so calm. So when you get a diagnosis or you get news that is said in a way that is so like calm, but should be chaotic because it's crisis, like I couldn't even process. So I said to the scheduler, so what does that word mean? And she said, oh, it means cervical cancer. And I went, well, that's weird. Are you saying I have cervical cancer? And she said, yes. I was like, well, why didn't the doctor just tell me that? And she goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Dana. Doctors sometimes forget that patients don't know the medical terms. I wish, and I was like, so I even say in my book, like, FYI, doctors, can you talk to us like we're in kindergarten? We don't know these medical terms. And then you could tell us the medical terms. And so that took me on a journey. So instead of going for my ultrasound in April, I was actually going in for my hysterectomy because I had cervical cancer. And I'm cancer-free today. But that entire process, again, life-altering. I'm forever changed and marked in many ways. But it was a gift. It really was a gift.
Why was it a gift?
Because I've learned things about life that I wouldn't have known going in it. And I now know the Lord in a whole different way. The process, the book is more about the process, processing cancer, processing. I mean, fear hits you like no other when that word cancer in society is like death sentence. And it was fear smacked me in the face. It was like, I've got 5 kids, 4 are not married. I've got 5 grandbabies, but I've never met my other ones that I believe are coming.
Yeah.
When my husband married somebody else, was that my last family reunion I went to last year? Will I never see my brother again?
Yeah.
Like, will I not see my daughter go down the, graduation, in the graduation ceremony? Or will I not find out that she's, what college she's going to go to? Will I not see my kids get married? It felt like it came out of left field. And yet there are so many gifts when I pressed in to listen. There's gifts if we're willing to listen, and we always stop short of that. And it's just press in. On the other side of that is life.
When you first got that news, what was your first emotion, though? I know we learned, we discovered the gifts and the joy and hey, Lord gave us one more chance. But what was those initial emotions?
My initial emotion was, it was very matter of fact. I really didn't have much emotion because of the way it was delivered to me. It was, hey, we found something, it's no big deal. We'll take care, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't realize it was actually cancer. And then when the scheduler told me, it's cervical cancer, I was like, oh, okay. So we have to schedule it, ultrasound schedule, biopsy, whatever. And so I went downstairs and told my family, okay, guys, no, I have different results. And initially my one daughter just cried. She was like, no, Mom, you're my best friend.
Wow.
No, and my mom was really calm, and Patrick was just very matter of fact, okay. And then within 24 hours, you are blindsided by just fear. Will kick you in the gut, slam you to the ground, and take the wind out of you. And then at some point, it was like 24 hours into that, I had to do what I would do to any of the women I mentor or coach. Yeah. And I went, time out. Like wait a minute, time out here. Because it felt like a whirlpool. And how do you stop a whirlpool? You step one direction and the other, one foot in the other direction, right? If you're in a pool.
Right.
It just stops the swirling. And I just went, okay, wait, time out. Dana, what do you know is true? Because fear is swirling in all the unknowns, right? The graduations I'm not at, the weddings, the showers, the things. Growing old with my husband, like all that stuff. What do you know is true? I had to seriously, again, you want to talk about faith. This isn't like, praise Jesus. It was like, what do I know is true? Okay, wait a minute. What do I know is true? Okay, well, I know that there's life after cancer. That I know is true. Even if it's stage 4.
Yeah.
There's life. There's enough people out there. All right, that's true. There's life after hysterectomy. That I know is true. There's enough women who've gone through it. They're still living. There's life after chemo, and I can still, my best days can still be ahead of me. That's true. And at that point, instead of going, oh my gosh, cancer, God, and praying God down here and cancer taking center stage, I went, wait a minute. Okay, if cancer is going to answer to God and will always be less powerful, then the God I believe in, that I claim to trust, it's a trust relationship, right? Then I'll never give cancer, no matter how scary it may be. At that point, I didn't know stage 1, 4, 2 months to live.
Yeah.
That I'll never give cancer more attention than I give the God who's more powerful.
Man.
But fear hit me, but it wasn't right away.
Do you feel like that was maybe a little bit of a spiritual attack where Satan, you either have love, perfect love casts out all fear, but fear is the only tool that Satan really has. Was this a tool of Satan, or is this just your flesh getting in the way? What was going on there?
That I don't know. I just know no matter what you call it. It felt like it came out of left field. I didn't see it coming. It wasn't like I was feeling sick. I was feeling the best I felt in years. I was back in the gym, all that stuff. I didn't really have any symptoms except typical perimenopausal symptoms.
Yeah.
And so I don't know attack or what, but when I leaned in to listen, there were things in my life that I knew needed to change. One of which is I've known since I was a little kid, has been an attack and a war against my own voice. You talk about having 3 podcasts. I write, I speak, I mentor.
Yeah.
And yet I have the biggest battle over using my voice. You probably wouldn't know it by speaking to me, but I was silent as a child, really. I'd never shared. As a wife early on, I never shared. And I knew in this journey, I've got to figure out how to ultimately use that voice, because that's where God uses me. And that was a gift to press into that.
Yeah. Voice. Was there something that went on as a child where, was it the way that your parents raised you? Was there something that actually happened that you didn't use your voice? You weren't allowed to, I don't know, kids are there to be listen, not be heard, or something like that. I'm just wondering, was there anything that went on in your childhood, or was that just something that you developed over time?
Well, some of it I think is my own wiring. I am an introvert at heart, right? My time with the Lord, I could put me in a quiet space with me and my Bible and a journal. I would say I could live forever, but I know that's not true because we're built for community. But I'm an introvert, and I think that that is very common for children of divorce. That I can't say my parents told me not to speak. I just didn't know how, and it never felt safe.
Yeah.
I didn't know. My dad didn't know how to communicate, and neither did I. And so for us to talk, my stepmother was wonderful when I was young, because she'd sit at the table or on a couch with me crying and try to mediate between me and my dad, who were just really, my dad didn't know how to, my dad was a wonderful provider, but he had no idea on the emotional side. Like if we got an emotion, I'd be like, I don't know what to do with you, Loretta. And he would say to my stepmom, and he didn't know how. He didn't have a dad. Yeah. And now, he'll get teary with me and I'll get teary with him. But when we were younger, we didn't know how to do that. And then my mom, I just didn't trust either one of my parents because it's just part of divorce. It wasn't like they were abusive or I just never felt safe. So living in my shell was the safe thing. And I'd have a million conversations going on here, but I couldn't get it to come out here. Right. So the fact that I lead women's ministry, and often women will go with tears in their eyes, you say what I can't. And I think it's because I know what's behind the walls.
Interesting. So you had a loving relationship with your mom because you lived with her growing up.
Yeah.
But you didn't trust, you didn't feel safe.
No.
Why? Unpack that just a little bit. I don't know if I kind of get it, but I don't get it.
Well, if you think about, I look at divorce, I always have as a child. I think kids of divorce are wounded soldiers in the war called divorce. It's cancerous in our society. I get it. I went through it. So I've always had a dream to have a healing center because I wanted children in divorce to know they're not alone. I don't have the answers, but my heart always beats for, if I could just help you understand, you are not isolated and alone here. Yeah. Because when you go through divorce, your stability, those you trust, there is an abandonment, and they don't mean to. But what you know is the structure of family that we're created for is removed. And we say all the time, kids are going to be all right. They're resilient. They're going to be all right. That's a load of garbage if I ever heard it. They're resilient and they will survive. But survival and thriving are two totally different things.
I was wondering if
I could talk forever on that one because don't tell me they're okay. Yeah. You see the girl sleeping around in high school? What's going on with their parents? Do you see the boy who's cutting himself? Do you see the kids who, hear yelling all the time and wonder why mom and dad can't get along and they can't be in the same space and dad won't call and all the things? You know why? Because you can't get your act together. That's why. And somebody needs to cry out for those kids, and nobody will. But the truth is, your kids, if you find them sleeping around, cutting, hanging with gangs, all the stuff, we'll go like, what are you thinking? You being stupid? Why are you doing these stupid things? You're going to get yourself in trouble. Come on.
Wrong thing to say.
I say that out of love because I get
No,
it.
I get it.
Needed the healing center. My parents needed the healing center. And we try our best. And we go, we just didn't make it. And we're better being best friends, divorced. It's a load of garbage. I'm sorry.
I've heard that. Yeah, I agree.
I think it's great that you can figure out how to be in the same room and have a friendship.
Yeah.
I went through it. I wish I never did it. I wish I figured it out.
Yeah.
But now I'm called to help parents figure it out because I want children to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Dana, we have to wrap up.
I know. Sorry.
No, this is, I love this. You speak my language too. I see a lot of hurting kids, and I agree with you 1,000,000%. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kids might survive, but they're not thriving. They're lost. They're angry. And we blame the kids like, no. Where were the parents? Parents aren't showing up. Dads aren't being dads. I'm not going to pick on the moms. I'm just going to pick on the dads. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to be a dad? That doesn't mean you're out doing your own thing on the weekends. It means you're actually with your family and serving your family, and you're making them your priority, starting with your wife.
Yeah.
So, well, Dana, we're going to wrap up, and I think we might do another podcast down the road with you. I think you have a lot to unpack. There's a lot of wisdom there. And guess what? It came through brokenness. And me too. I'm not here because I'm wonderful. I'm here because I'm broken. Mm-hmm. And I want to share my broken story that in Jesus, there's salvation, there's redemption, there's healing. And maybe on the next one, we can talk about, you said a healing center. I want to maybe be thinking about on the next podcast. Yeah. We're going to unpack what a healing center is to you and when will you open it? It's on your heart.
Yeah.
So
we could talk it.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I'm talking with the Lord right now on that. So Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Well, hey, we thank you for being here this week. We really appreciate you. And we're hoping you get a lot out of this podcast. I mean, for me, I do this podcast because I really enjoy the stories. I learn, I grow, I'm challenged. And we want to keep doing this. But thank you for being here. We're going to have Dana on here again real soon. Hey, Dana, last question for you. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and have a conversation, get involved in what you're doing, I don't know, how would they get a hold of you?
They could email me at dana@gritandgraceenterprises.com. You can find me on the social channels and DM me there, which is Grit and Grace Enterprises. It's probably the easiest way.
You're going to shoot me over a text of those, so I'll put those in the show notes and stuff. But
you got it.
Thank you for being here. You really shared your heart. You were completely vulnerable and transparent. That's why we're here. Your life isn't perfect, nor is mine, right? And we're thankful.
Absolutely.
Opportunity to have more faith. So thanks for being here this week. We'll see you next week.